Good morning. So I've been wanting to do this video for a while. It's not really anything specific to GeneratePress. Well, it's not specific to GeneratePress or Generate Blocks, but I wanted to look at creating custom blocks, custom editor blocks, Gutenberg blocks with advanced custom fields. So advanced custom fields, to be able to access this functionality, you'll need the Pro version, which, let's take a look here. I got this a while back, and I think I only paid $99 for a lifetime developer license, but I do think it's a bit more than that now. Yeah, well, I mean, these aren't bad, but when you get to unlimited, it's $249 a year, which is totally worth it. Not to ever belittle the work that goes into these plugins. It's an awesome plugin. I use it for nearly all of my sites, and now for not only custom post types and the fields that go with it, but for these custom editor blocks. And I'm not going to build it from scratch. This is one that's included, or at least the code for it is included in my child theme that you can find on GitHub. It's the GeneratePress developer child theme. But it lets you, there are lots of blocks out there. There are lots of plugins you can get that extend and do great things. And Generate Blocks is really separated itself from the pack in that it has a very specialized purpose. It only does layout stuff. You have the containers and the grids, and the headline block was actually just an advanced text block, and the buttons. And with those, you can do all kinds of crazy things. But when you get into really specific things, I need a testimonial block. I need a staff block. I need a tabbed content block or anything like that. You can find other blocks out there, but sometimes you really want to build it yourself. You want it to be what you want it to be. And while Advanced Custom Fields doesn't give us, a super native experience, it does give you something really close, and it does the job. And you can really, like I said, customize it and make it what you want it to be. So this is the code for, this is the documentation for it, which we're going to be closely referring to. But I'm going to jump over here to VS Code, and this is my child theme. This is my testing site that I've just simply called WP Testing. I'm running this on Laragon locally on a Windows laptop. But as with everything with my child theme, you have to include, so I have my ink folder here, and we're going to be looking at the advanced custom fields include, but I need to come over here to functions.php to make sure, and here it is, that it's included, and it's not, or it's required. So I'm going to save that, and it's now going to call this. And again, this is in the child theme right out of the box, so to speak. We're going to be dealing with this bit right here, and then on-queuing the styles that go with it. And if I have to pause and sneeze, I'm sorry. I feel it coming, but it's not there. So yeah, this is the snippet of code. So we're going to, when Advanced Custom Fields initializes, pretty much, this is one of their native hooks. We're going to see, make sure this function exists, this register block type, and then we're going to do it. We're going to register block type. And if you want to register more, this is the bit that you replicate. So, these are two. So maybe this is a testimonial block, and then we give it a new name. And, change the title and description and the template it points to, so on and so forth. Okay, but we're going to focus just on this one. And we're going to leave it as staff. I use this for a client site, and so I've left it in here because it was kind of a good example. Now, there are different ways to handle staff. You might make a custom post type and simply create a custom block to output all those custom post types in a certain order or something like that. This just lets you create a staff block one at a time, if I remember right. I haven't used this in a while. So if there are any surprises, we'll experience them together. Have a little coffee. Okay, so let's walk through these. So we're going to register this block, and all it means is that Advanced Custom Fields within WordPress is going to recognize that this is a block ready to be used. So if you've ever used Advanced Custom Fields, you have to associate it with something. So I can create a field set, and what I'm going to do, since this is already created, I need to look up my templates. So I have a template part folder here, and then I have a block folder. And within that blocks folder, all I have right now is a staff folder. And there's a PHP file and a CSS file. And there could be a JS file. And I think I've said in the past, what I normally do is I queue up all the styles and scripts together, not conditionally, because I like to use Alt Optimize, the Alt Optimize plugin, I think that's how you say it, to concatenate or join all of the script, combine everything into one file, if at all possible, and have it compress all that. So I have just one style file, one CSS file, and one JS file, primarily, to run the whole site. So I just go ahead and have it appear everywhere. So let's open this up, and so you can make these whatever. You could point this to whatever you want your organization to be, but this is mine. So let's take a look at staff.php, and this is the template that it creates, and these are the fields that I'm going to create, that we're going to draw from, and I'll show you kind of how I like to deal with advanced custom fields as we do this. But so we need to create an image field, and I'll need to know a little bit more, actually. I think, yeah, okay. So let's do this, and let's call it staff block. And I'm going to go ahead and associate it. These are the rules for how it appears, or where these custom fields are going to be located. And I scroll all the way down to forms, and there is a block option. So if the block is equal to staff, then I want all these things to show up. So let's have an image. Okay, if you've ever used Advanced Custom Fields, or rather if you've never used Advanced Custom Fields, you get a label, which is what appears in the editor, and you get a field name, which is like your variable name. And this is what you refer to in your code to call up the data from this field. So this is it. And get field, you have two functions, primary functions. The field, which outputs, so for example, if I were to do this, it wouldn't store this in a variable. It would simply output the value of this field. Get field simply represents the data, and you can store it in a variable or echo it in PHP. Yeah, I won't go through a whole PHP lesson, but it's pretty basic stuff. And you can find examples on this page, so don't fret too much. There's some pretty good references and tutorials online. And we need a name. Let's see. I'm sorry. I need to finish this out. So this is an image field, and we want, I think, to get the image ID. I think that's what I do. And this is the preview size, and I'm not going to worry too much about all this stuff. So that's created. Let's add our name field, and name can simply be text. We need a title. And also, sometimes what I'll do when I'm creating these field names, the field names, sometimes I'll go through and I guess what you call this is, oh geez, I can't remember the name. I'll give them specific names to the block just in case, so they won't get mixed up with anything else. And I'm not sure if that's entirely necessary. You know what? We'll do that just to play it safe. Namespace, that's what I'm looking for. Namespace your variables. And again, I'm not 100% sure this is necessary, but we'll call it good practice. It can't hurt anything. Phone 1, phone 2, and email. And these I think are just standard fields. Phone 1, and we'll prefix it with staff and underscore. I don't think there's a phone field, no. But there is an email field, so we'll leave this as text. And we'll duplicate that, and yep, phone 2, it did it for us. It's text. And then we need an email field. And again, prefix it with staff, and we will make this an email field. And advanced custom fields would do the error checking for us. So if like it doesn't have an ampersand symbol or something like that, it will take care of it for us. Okay, so we have all of our variable names, and let's go ahead and update them here. We know that we want staff to be, or that's what we've indicated in advanced custom fields. So we'll go ahead and save that and save this again. So now we have a staff block. So now I want to go ahead and get all these pieces in place, and we can begin to see what it looks like in WordPress, and we can start making some little changes in how it behaves. And again, I don't have this in memory, so I can't, we're going to refer to the documentation as we go. So again, we've referred to the template file here, render template, staff.php. But down here, we've queued up the styles. So we have this GPC, generate press child staff block, and we're going to queue up this staff.css. And what I do for the naming, like if this block is called staff, then I call the folder staff, the CSS file staff, and the PHP file staff, just to keep it all consistent. If there were a JS file, it would be staff.js. Let's see, let's look at all the lines. Yeah, this is a standard on-queue style, so I'm not going to, you can Google this and get all of the arguments for this function, but it's pretty straightforward, standard stuff. Okay, well, let's now go, let's save this, publish. Okay, so now let's go to a page. We're going to go to our sample page, and let's see what it looks like. Let's try to drop in a block and see what we can do. Oh, I was playing with an address block. Where do we want it? Insert it before here. Okay, so let's start typing staff, and here is our block. All right, so it is pretty blah looking. This isn't your typical editor experience, but it is a typical advanced custom field experience. More coffee, excuse me. So we can add an image, and we can add our field stuff, and then when we do, this block will render itself. Now right now, it's nothing because nothing is there. What we can do is we can set it so that you can actually do all the editing over here in the sidebar. And that might give you a slightly better experience. But let's see, what have I got here? We'll use old Dylan here for it. No, I don't want to do that. Okay, Bruce Willis. Action hero. See, phone numbers are always 555 in movies, aren't they? 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's say he doesn't have a second phone number because we have some conditionals going on. And we'll see b.willis@gmail.com. I don't know. Okay. So now we have the beginnings of what it looks like. Now this is kind of funky. I'm not going to make this a design video about how to necessarily make this look good, but we can take a look at kind of what's going on. So let's update this and go over to our sample page and refresh. And here we go. We can, get a feel. We can inspect. And we see we have now the staff block. And we have a column 1 and a column 2. Here's the image. And it's loading up a pretty big image. And we can change that by going to our template. And see, I've got the full size image showing, but maybe we want, is it just thumb or thumbnail? See, I can't remember. We'll try thumbnail and see what happens. Thumbnail. All right, now we got the square. And it's, 150 by 150. I don't know why it's showing 480. Anyway, or maybe, I don't know. Again, we'll, not the time for that. It does look like it could use a little margin before I go into more detail about this stuff. So let's just say on our staff block margin, bottom 1em. Refresh and give us a little breathing room. Okay, so now let's really take a look at what's going on. Well, first, let's go back to the editor experience, and I'm going to refresh this. So what do we do if this is not our ideal editing experience? So we can move some things around. Like, for example, if I go back to Advanced Custom Fields, you can do some layout things. So maybe image is full width, or we'll leave it full width for now. You can come down here and do these wrapper attributes, and you can even give it your own styling, but I usually just stick to, like, let's make the name 50% and the title 50%. Let's make the phone number 1 50%. Where is it? There we go. Down here 50%. And then we'll update that. I can't just, sorry, I'm trying to hit my home key just to make it jump up to the top. We'll update that, and let's take another look. All right, let's go back to our sample page, and okay, we get the same preview, but now we get, so now you can see the name and the title are, taking up half the space. We get this nice kind of columned, chunked sort of appearance, which is cool. And again, this is not bad. It's still an inline editing experience. They can drop in this, your users can drop in this block, add their content. As soon as they click off of it, they get a rendered preview of what this is. And note that, I don't know if I need to go into this right now, but sometimes you might need to fine tune it because there might be some things that the editor is doing kind of crazy. So you might have to look for, in your inspector, kind of what's going on. And I think ACF, Advanced Custom Fields, tries to prevent this. It wraps it in this own component block. But you might need to look at some specifics to see, this looks different than what it does on the front end of the site. So you might need to make some editor-specific changes. And some people like to queue up a specific editor style sheet for their custom block, and that's fine. But I hate to say I'm lazy, but sometimes I'll just add another class in here to take care of it. Excuse me. So what you can do is you can you might need to wrap it in like this ACF block component. So like if staff block is not showing the correct margin or something, you might say ACF staff component staff block. and then give it, maybe the margin bottom in the preview needs to be 2em or something like that. And it'll only render, since this is, where'd it go? Oh, I'm sorry, not, ACF, not staff, I'm sorry, block component. So you can make it more specific and target your block within the editor to do some stuff like that. I'm not sure. Let's just see what happens. Yeah, so there may be a little bit more margin there. It's really tricky to inspect it because it always wants to go into that editing mode. Let's see. No, it's still giving 1em. You know what? Let's force that. Oh, I hit the wrong key. Sorry. We might need to force the queue or the cache to clear out. Or that could have done it. So I'm going to empty cache. And I'm right clicking on that with the inspector open. I think you can shift refresh and it'll clear out the browser cache. Okay, so again, and this is a lot of trouble to go through to show you this, but, well, it's still not. Did I name that wrong? ACF block component, staff block. Well, guys, I don't know why that's not taking, and I hate to hold us up just to make that work. This is part of the bane of the existence of a developer, is the little stuff like this that you just can't figure out why it's why something like this won't resolve itself. So let's see. Oh geez, is it because I didn't save it? Really? Let's try that again. Yeah, and it's usually dumb stuff like that. Okay, I think that may have done it. Yep, now we got our 2ems. Sorry about that. That was my dumb mistake. Okay, so anyway, I'll leave it like that. There's no harm in that. Excuse me. And now let's look at what we can do. Like, let's say, for example, that we want the editing experience to happen over here. And, they can preview what's happening in the editor space. So I need to remind myself, there is a way down here. Okay, mode. The display mode for your block, auto, preview, and edit. It defaults to preview. Auto preview is shown by default, but changes to edit form when block is selected. Preview is always shown. Edit form appears in sidebar. Okay, so we need to look at mode, and we want preview. So mode, we're going to change it to preview, and we're going to save that so it'll actually work. All right, and then we'll come back over here and refresh. Okay, so now when we click the block, we get our editing experience over here. Okay, and I really don't think that's all that bad. So let's add another block just to see what happens. No, I'm not going to duplicate it. I don't want to do that. So where's my staff? There's my staff. Okay, so I get a blank block. Let's add, we'll add the Ghostbusters. And look at that. Yeah. So I think this is kind of a, especially when you have little info blocks like this. If this were I don't know, a testimonial block with a full-blown text editor, you might not want it over here in the sidebar. It might be make more sense to give them a bigger editor space, but in my opinion, I mean, when you're, it's not that far of a stretch to have your editing experience over in the sidebar. You know, even when you have Gutenberg blocks, at least your options. I'm sorry, when you have generate blocks or other types of blocks, you at least have options over in the sidebar that you can change, and you can include. You can also make options for this that using colors and things like that might change. And of course, you have to make those changes in your template file. But let's see, 555, 321, and yeah, we'll go ahead and add this too. Email is I can't remember how you spell Vinkman. Yeah, I don't know. There we go. Okay, that's kind of cool, right? Okay, so you can change that editing experience, and you can also change it to edit always, so that you never get a preview. It's just in editor mode all the time. There are also lots of options about providing alignment options. Things that can appear up here. So, for example, if you want a full width option, or if you want to, give the ability to align left or right or center, things like that. This is different. Okay, this is new. So you can on-cue the... Okay, we got to try that. So you can ditch this, it looks like. On-cue style. Oh, heck yeah. Okay. Wait, I'm not spelling that right. On-cue style. Okay, that's cool. Wait a minute, I don't need quotes. I just need to copy this. So let's grab our style, and we don't need to do that anymore. It looks like it can do scripts as well. I'm going to add a comma in there. Okay, we'll just comment this whole thing out. Oh, man, that's pretty neat. Yeah, I haven't checked this in a while. Let's see. We can do our scripts. A callback function that runs whenever your block is displayed. Huh. On whenever block is displayed. So it looks like... I'm not sure the difference in those. I'll have to spend more time with that. There are lots of new options in here. I also saw post types. So you can even define which post types. So I can say I'll add it down here. Well, let's do it after supports. Post types. I think I had that right. Array. No, page. I think that's it. Okay, an array, all it does is give you the ability to put in multiple values. Yeah, so post or page. So you can say only have this block show up if this is a page. So we can be excited together. So yeah, so these are really cool. So now we have, yeah, so it's picking up the styling strictly based on this. That's really nice. So I don't have to worry about any additional queuing up things. I can have it all managed from this, I guess this array, this object, whatever you want to call it. Let's see how it renders. Okay. So let's go to posts, and you know what? sorry. I'm going to try to create a new. And let's just see if it's there. It is not. Okay, that's really cool, because sometimes you'd have to jump through hoops to get, stuff like that to happen. So, again, advanced custom fields is pretty freaking awesome. Okay, so just to go through these. So, name is what the block is called. It's like a unique name for the block. Your title is how it appears when, let's go back to pages. Okay, so if I'm calling up this block, that's the name of it. Now the description, I think, appears, yeah. And I wonder if he has a preview option. I'm not sure about that. Oh, icon, yeah. So you can, I'm jumping around too much, I'm sorry. So category lets you determine where they fall in. So I guess I put this under text or formatting. Formatting? So I assumed it was these, and maybe formatting is no longer an option. Okay. So this category, common, well, no, there it is. Layout, widgets, embed. Maybe we call it, it goes under common. I don't know, and maybe this needs to be updated. Can also register custom block categories. So there's a lot of options here, and I'm showing you the basics of how it works on the back end. For example, we saw the description. I'm not sure about a preview. A preview would be kind of cool if you could. Look at that. An array of structured data used to construct a preview shown within the block inserter. I'll have to play with that to see how that works. All values entered into the data attribute array will become available within the block render template callback. Yeah. Guys, I don't know. I'd have to play with that to see exactly what that does. I'm not that PHP savvy. We looked at the render template. That's what's actually rendering the view. Now we can on-queue our styles and scripts. We can choose what icon appears, which I chose a smiley face for the staff, and that's a dash icon. If we go back up here, icon, yeah. And you can, look, you can specify colors. You can put in your own SVG, so that's cool. You could go to icon monster, and we could, let's say, pick a staff, or, sorry, theme, profile. Cool. Let's just use that one. Agree and embed. Okay, so let's see what it allows us to do. I can just, is it really that freaking easy? So instead of a smiley, I can paste in an SVG. I'm gonna do that. And let's go and refresh. I hope you guys like doing videos this way or watching them this way. I'm not polished or I don't have like a script prepared or anything. I'm really just flying by the seat of my pants. That's pretty freaking cool. Okay. Yeah, so there's our SVG icon. So you're not limited to dash icons. Gosh, what else did they give us? Okay, keywords are things for like, if, team, profile, if they're not searching for staff, other words they might use when they're using that quick search function, like team, will also bring up staff or profile. Yeah. And we talked about mode. We talked about align and align text, which those are things we're not using. Align content, top, center, bottom. Yeah, more options that are native to WordPress blocks, I guess. Much like the align text or the align left, center, right, wide, and full. Generate blocks incorporates a lot of that stuff. Our render template, yep, we talked about that. Render callback, not entirely sure. I think that's just a different way, and I'm sure there are instances where this would be better than just including the render template. This on-cue style and script or your assets, that's awesome. Okay, so this is callable, and I guess that means that, you can prep it. Specifying an anonymous function. Function name, specifying class. Okay. Yeah, so just different ways you can call these externally if you don't want to wrap them up in this. So you can have them separate, hanging out from this function, and then simply call to them from this on-cue assets if you want to. I'll just stick to these. Supports an array of features. Enables a toolbar button to control the block alignment. So I'm not sure how those are different, and I guess I'm not giving you a very good video experience, but I hope that with the basics you can dig in. And what I do is just, if I feel like I need something different, I'll get in and experiment with it and see what happens. I still want to go over the template. Let's see, mode for preview. Oh, so this gives you some JavaScript. This gives you some options in the editor to, toggle things like preview and edit. Huh. Okay. So I can control that. I'm guessing from the supports. But I'm not sure where that differs from align and align text. Or, you know what? I guess if I'm gonna be thorough, let's see. The default block alignment. So I can set. Oh, so these are just setting the defaults. So if I want to specify specify controls, then we'll need to do this stuff. So supports. Okay, well, heck, let's just try it out. Disable alignment bar. So I have supports in here, and I've said disable align content. This property allows the user to toggle between edit and preview modes. Okay, so we see that we can do that. So let's do this. Align faults. Mode. We do not want them to be able to change the mode. Faults. Okay, so if I understand correctly, cancel, update. Or I didn't really make any changes, did I? It's just WordPress being careful. So now I should not be able to toggle that edit. That option should completely go away, and it did. Cool. So now I can only edit from the sidebar. So man, that's great. So in this example, I really kind of want to try that out, but you know what, kids, let's see how it works. And this video is going to be long, and I'm sorry. I hope everyone's up for it. Mode preview. Okay, data. So does that mean it needs to correspond? This may be a wash, guys. I might need more on this, but we can see what happens. So let's just see staff name. I'm thinking staff name here. Staff title here. I don't like these spaces. Whoa. Let's see what happens, guys. I don't know. So I'm guessing that's going to be something to do with the preview. Surely it's not when you make a new block. No. Okay. Remove block. Let's see. Staff. We'll roll over it. Holy cow. So it's trying to give a preview. Huh. So I'm guessing with an image you might have to give a URL. Dang, that's pretty cool. Okay. Let's flesh that out, because that's pretty awesome. You can make this a complete experience. Phone one. We'll just do this. I don't know why it's single quotes for the value key or name, whatever, and then okay, and then staff email, isn't that it? Yeah. Email. Whoop. Last name. Oh. Yeah, I always have to I get nitpicky about the spacing. Staff image, was that what we did? I think so. Yeah, I don't it's not going to call up. Okay, so let's cheat a little bit, and I bet if we give it a path, not source set, oop, we don't need two quotes, but we do need a comma. Okay, so this is a nested array. So we have an array, and then we have an attributes array, we have a mode array, we have a data array. Let's just try this first and excuse me, see what happens. Reload. Autosave. Yeah. Staff. Oh, no. No preview image. Block data or get field. Man, I don't know. I don't know why that would not. Because I can't give a callback, or I'm sorry, I can't put a variable in there because it, there may not be, it doesn't know where to look for that image. So what would be, do they give any examples? Okay, that's the template. The callback. Man, there's a lot of new stuff in here. I've really got to dig in. I should have done more preparation before I got into this. But I mean, I think you guys are at least getting the gist of it. I hope you are. And how great it is that you can actually add this stuff. Block preview. Oh, here we go. Adding block previews. So they have an image. Is preview true? Inner blocks. Holy cow. I still don't see anything about how to add that image, how to make that show up. Surely it's not just a matter of me having to do a hard refresh. Yes, autosave, I know. Okay, if this doesn't work, okay, so I'll come back to that. Maybe in another video I'll do my homework and we can go into more depth about how this stuff works. Man, I hate to leave that hanging, but let's go look at the template real quick. Maybe something will come to us. So what I like to do with my advanced custom field stuff is I have my PHP block at the top. I have a comment stating what it is and where it's referenced from. So this C is, go look in the Inc folder for advanced custom fields.php. Normally I like to go ahead and call all of my values for my custom fields and store them in PHP variables. There's two things that I'm thinking when I do this. One, it's just kind of good housekeeping. I don't have to keep using advanced custom fields functions to go grab that data or check conditionals. I can store it in a reusable variable and just use it over and over again as needed. Two, in my mind, it's only making one hit to the database as it grabs all this stuff. Now this is kind of not moot, but you wouldn't necessarily notice a huge speed difference when doing it this way, but just call it good practice and something good to abide by. At least I'm pretty sure it is. So I grab all those and I store them in these variables, and that's what I reuse. So as I have my image, I'm using a native WordPress function, get attachment image, and this is actually the ID of that particular image that's stored. So if I were to just output image, it would be a number. But with this function, I can grab the image that it refers to and output it. And I get that nice source set function with the responsive image sizing. Tell it what size. I forget what that particular argument is, but then here's where we add attributes. And I'm simply adding my own class to that image. And then we have the name, and we also have some conditionals. So we have if the title variable is not empty. So that exclamation point simply means not. So it's saying if not empty title, go ahead and output the title. So then I'm outputting my wrapper tag and this bit of echo title. So echo simply means from PHP to output this. Spit it out on the screen. Show me what it is. And here it gets a little different because I want to check all of these variables, all of this data. And if any one of them is present, then we want to output this staff block info. So I'm checking to see if this is not empty, or, so the two pipe characters is or. If I want to see if all of them were present, I would change it to and that is to ampersands. But I want to see if phone 1 is not empty, or phone 2 is not empty, or email is not empty. Then output this, and then I go through them one by one. If phone 1 is not empty, then output this. And here's my echo in phone 1. And same for phone 2 and email. And email is a little different because you have to put in the link to the email. So I'm actually doing the mail to output the email address, and then echo the email address so they can actually see it on the web page. And the rest of the stuff is CSS and styling. And this, this is not a video about CSS and styling necessarily, so I won't go through that. But this is how you would handle just about any template with advanced custom fields. So you get these get field functions, and there's other things because there are repeater fields, there are group fields, there are what do they call them? Not repeaters, but they're I forget. There are lots of different block types, and sometimes they call for different functions to do things. Gosh, this last little bit's really bugging me. I wish I could figure out how to get that image to show up. The example setting to define array of attributes used by WordPress to construct a preview. See, they're cheating, in my opinion, because they are not giving how that image is output. Let's see. Let's try this last bit. Is preview equals true? Yeah, I don't have that, do I? Right? And that goes in the same, yeah. Is it is underscore preview? Wait, no. True doesn't need quotes. Sorry. Because that is a Boolean value. It can only be true or false, or it can be 1 for true, 0 for false. I like true and false. Just I like to be explicit with it. Okay, let's see what happens. Because I am so excited about this. Oh, you're killing me, man. Okay, I'll have to dig in to find out how that works. And if I do find it, I'll put a link in the video description to share with you guys how it works, because I'm jazzed about it. So yeah, this is advanced custom fields and how to add a custom block within the editor for your site, for your clients, or just in your work, or just for tinkering and having fun. Sorry to ramble. Sorry, there's so much that I had to stumble over. But again, I'm kind of hoping that part of the fun of these videos that we kind of study and discover and learn by trial and error how to do things, and to show you that you don't have to have it all in your head. Man, I reference documentation all the time to remember how to do stuff. And that's part of why I did this child theme, so that I could have a great starting point for just about everything that I typically use. So please like and subscribe to, please like this video and please subscribe to the channel. I'm going to try to keep adding more and more. We're getting close to the holidays. We are in the middle of the holidays practically. So it might be January before I release a new video, but I'll see what I can do. So thank you guys, and I'll see you next time.